dictionary, Nexus, the definition is the connecting point. So last year was our anniversary, it was 21 years. Yes, we've had a lot of offers to be bought out, but the whole family works here now, all my siblings. I think that's the biggest thing in me, that I've never steered them wrong or in any sense did a bad business deal or broke my word. My words, your word, like back in the day, is very important.
What's up, everybody? So we just finished closing on our Mac Granite. Thank you to this fine young gentleman I have across the table that is helping me out and bailing me out once again. I do have to say that this man that I'm going to introduce you to has done a lot for me in the waste business. Starting 3 years ago, he's really been just another extension of my family and has mentored me, taught me more things that I can even express in the waste business. So to all the other business owners out there, you really got to try to find somebody you can lean on, that can coach you, that can be there for you to help you grow. It's just a really tough world. So anyways, this is Efrain Gonzalez Jr. with Nexus Disposal. And tell us a little bit about Nexus and when did this all come to fruition?
Nexus Disposal actually had a 20-year anniversary last year.
Wow.
So this will be 21 years in business with the Nexus name.
Wow.
Nexus is pretty unique. There's a gentleman, prior to Nexus, obviously I grew up in the trash business, had other trash hauling companies, been private, owned our whole lives. It all stems back to my father, my Efrain Sr. I go by Junior because pretty much my whole life I was my dad's shadow. And we're always together, so it was Senior and Junior. We have the same name and we just went by Senior and Junior. Nexus was a gentleman who had a contract with the Kroger company, so the Kroger grocery stores.
Yep.
And he had the contract to rent them the self-contained compactors that sat at every Kroger store. Houston, Austin, Dallas. That's what I remember.
Cool.
Might have been other cities, but I remember those three in particular because I was involved in helping them. So with Mr. Robert Rice, that's his name, he's already passed, but we call him Mr. Bob Rice. And he built the power units for these compactors, and my father built the actual container, a self-contained container. And he had a lot of those rented out to all the Krogers in 3 different cities probably more, but that's the ones that I recall. And at one point, Kroger approached him and says, "We're having problems with the hauling, with our hauler. Since you already provide the dumpsters, can you haul it?" And Mr. Bob said, "Absolutely." And he bought one Mack RD truck, brand new. And my father actually helped them spec the truck.
That's cool.
And he put his son Rod Rice to be the transportation company, which was here in Houston. So Mr. Bob built the containers for Kroger's, and then Rod serviced them. He hauled them back and forth. Well, after about a year, not much longer, I think a year and a half into it, Rod felt a little overwhelmed with the maintenance of the truck and not being real familiar with transportation, that he wanted to do something different. And at that point, his dad, Mr. Bob Rice, approached my father and I said, "You know what, we tried it, but we want out. Will you buy the truck back from us and the containers?" And at that point, I was I was in between companies, so I didn't really have a business at the time. I'm pretty sure I was working for Republic. 20 years I was working for Republic.
What were you doing for Republic?
I was a commercial front loader operations manager. I had sold them a front load company, which was Tejas Waste. I owned Tejas Waste out of high school.
Hold on one, just so people know what
There's a lot of companies, yeah.
Front loaders are. Front loaders are your commercial trash cans.
Garbage trucks, yeah.
The ones with the kind of the forks that come in, grab the dumpster and dump it real high. I remember them from elementary school. Literally, I'd be looking out the window and I'd just be staring, watching this big old dumpster fly in the air. So when he says front loader, that's what he's in regards to. And
different garbage trucks.
That is your man. Like if you got a business in Houston, Texas, Nexus Disposal is your guy for front loader dumpsters.
That's what we concentrate on the most. Yeah, it's the road less traveled. It's a tougher business and more expensive business to maintain and stuff. But it's kind of the road less traveled, and we've been actually blessed to be good at it, and so we concentrate on that. And it's permanent business. That's the biggest thing behind it. It's more of a permanent base of customers.
It's consistency, right?
Consistency,
It's not as fluid. It's your work is
as
just
roll off.
steady.
Yeah.
Right. Us in the roll off world, we'll have 2 weeks of hell, and then it's like, where to go?
Yeah, when you build a gas station nowadays, it used to take 4 months to build a gas station at an intersection. Now these guys build them in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So they're very basic square concrete build, so your work is in and out real fast. It's just times have changed. But to continue with Nexus, the gentleman Robert, he came up with the name. He did have a different phone number. When we bought it a year and a half into the venture, then we rebranded it a little bit. We changed the logo. We changed the color of the containers. He had brown containers. We went to actually before we had the greens that we have now, we had a sage green, which is an uglier green for a long time, because at the same time, you had Abitibi in Houston, which was a paper recycling company, and they had the green that I use today, which is a safety green, and it's more for standing out to be able to see it from a far distance.
And I've never asked you this, but where did the red come from?
Well, prior companies, the red and white we've had companies in a lot of cities. Me and my father, prior to me, mostly my father, obviously. We had Alamo Waste in San Antonio. We had American Waste in Atlanta. We've had a lot of other hauling companies, and that was my dad's primary color scheme, was white and red.
Got it.
That was the primary color scheme for growing up. And Nexus was green because of the dumpsters.
Sure.
And just for high visibility.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Some red dumpsters would have been great, but there's kind of an unwritten rule, and I believe I explained this to you before. In the city that you're in, you don't want to have the same colored dumpster as a fellow competitor or
Sure.
fellow hauler, just so there's never the confusion that some other driver picked up the wrong container.
Sure.
So it's different color. It's an unwritten rule, and everybody respects it. And so red was already taken here in Houston by Lone Star, and so I really couldn't use red, so we went with that safety green. And it's high visibility. It kind of makes sense because now you're on a job site, and safety green is beware of the dumpster, stay away from it.
Yeah, so those of you, that's why mine, I mean, he coached me through that with picking dumpster colors. So my blue's a little different than Republic and some of the other blues, but I also go out and I put orange stripes all over it, and that's what makes it like, oh, that guy, you should know a Superior box because it's got orange stripes.
And then also you followed my advice on stenciling a big name and number on the side, because the decals are very small and a passerby can't really read it. So yeah, big name.
I think I did. I think I overdid it on a couple.
On one of them, yeah, that was cool. I mean,
intentionally, I got these gigantic stencils. So he was like, "You got to have the biggest name, the biggest number." And I said, "Okay, I'm going to challenge you." And I sent him this picture. I took the whole side of a 40-yard and painted in Superior Waste and a phone number, huge.
Next level.
You could see it from a mile away.
Exactly, yeah.
But
you listened. That's good. You listened to me. But
I've listened.
But that's pretty much it, Mr. So then we took that over and then just grew it. So a lot of people, where'd you come up with the name? I did not. That would be a credit to Mr. Bob Rice. And a lot of people answered, but in the dictionary, Nexus, the definition is the connecting point. And so it can be used in any example. So just the connecting point of the waste industry. Nexus can be the connecting point of transportation, connecting point of anything and everything that you can want to create. It's just a connecting point. So it's a very neat name.
That's awesome.
The phone number, we changed that, I told you, to an easier number to remember, 713-996-9090. Just a little bit easier for people that are on their phone or distracted. You're trying to call somebody, you can use your number.
Well, that's a really good point to make to them is if you are starting a business, a simple phone number. You want to get the most simple. If it's 713-777, 8757. You know, make it as simple as you can get it. Now, listen, I don't know whose phone number that was. Don't try to call it. You might get some random person.
That's a marketing tool as well.
Sure.
Like the company is not a secret. It's in Houston. It's a great company. It's the I believe it's called USA Plumbers. It's a plumbing company, and there's just 713-777-7777. Very simple.
I mean, the one. What is the one? Call 1-800-STEAMER. Yeah, that one rings. I don't know what they're. I think it's 1-800-STEAMERS, and if you spell it Steamers, that's their phone number.
Yeah, it's marketing 101. But yeah, that's how Nexus came to be. Nexus is the company that my family's had the longest, as far as before we sold it. Like I said, before Nexus, I want to say we're number 9 or 10 businesses before Nexus, and I think the extent of those businesses, we built them up from scratch and sold it in a 5 to 6 year period. That was it. And you'd get a 5-year non-compete, look for their city, start another one. But we had at one point we had about 4 businesses in 4 different cities at the same time, and as they sold off, we sold it. But yeah, definitely Nexus is the one we've been the longest running. So
20 years, right?
20 years, yeah, 21. So last year was our anniversary. It was 21 years.
Wow.
Yes, we've had a lot of offers to be bought out, but the whole family works here now. All my siblings, it's me and my 3 other siblings, Beatrice, Armando, and Adrian, and Steven, which is the 4th one. But Steven is, you could say, my brother from another mother.
There you go.
But I love him we're his family. We love him like a brother. He's operations manager. And we've been here, everybody's worked here. And so everybody, besides me, I'm the oldest. Everybody went to college, and that was kind of the goal. Well, they got out of college, come and apply what they learned here at Nexus, and that's kind of been why we've been here this long, waiting for them to graduate from college.
Well, and it's becoming generational now, because I know you had your dad, and now you have you, and now you have your son and daughter in the business, correct?
Yes, I do. That's correct. Yeah. Well, my son is 17. He's still in high school, but he, just like me, he spends all his summers here and his vacation time here, coming to work. We live close to our operations, so it's always a small community.
He lives close up here, but I live an hour and some change away, and just coincidentally, every single time I'm up here, it's 5 o'clock, and I got to drive home at 5 o'clock.
Traffic time. Yeah.
But it gives me time.
Stay till after traffic.
It gives me time to process everything that I learned and really think about it. So I kind of I think he kind of does it intentionally, but.
Well, the mornings are busy. You got to kick your day off early, get busy, get things done. So in the afternoon is when you get more time to conduct business and different things that we do. So,
any words of advice from a successful businessman, from you, that you would give to another person that might be starting a business, as far as, just on business, not necessarily trash, but just business in general?
Yeah, very simple. Very simple. I mean, plain, honest advice. And I think I repeat this a lot. It's a phrase. It's not my phrase. But build bridges, don't burn them. Everybody that I've dealt with, vendors, bankers, lawyers, customers, just build a relationship with them. Be honest with them. Be truthful. And circle around. Circle around to them. Keep them close. I think that's the biggest thing. The economy is up and down the line. The United States, the economy's been all over the place, especially lately. But those people, they're around too. So it's not just happening to you. It's happening to your competition, to everybody in the industry. Not just this in any business industry. Everybody's feeling the inflation from last year. Everybody's feeling the after effects of COVID. They're still dealing with that.
Sure.
So just those relationships that you build, you'll be surprised how circular they are. They'll come back to help you. And one time, you know what, Junior, I can't afford that right now. And a couple years later, oh, you know what, Junior, I'm ready. I can help you. And you can build relationships that way. I think that's the biggest thing in me, that I get a lot of calls from relationships that I've built bridges with and just maintain them. Not something too extreme, but it's just I've never steered them wrong or in any sense did a bad business deal or broke my word.
Sure.
My words your word, like back in the day, is very important.
It's your bond.
So you give somebody your word, you comply from it. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but you move forward and you stick to your decisions. And you learn. If you do make a mistake, you learn from it. But I think the biggest thing right now is that I've noticed that a lot of people, younger generations, and not just young, I think all the way around, there's still some people with the mentality that business is business and personal is personal, and don't be mad at me if I screwed you in business, we're still friends. That doesn't work. I think
No.
it needs to be friends all the way around, and if we can do business, great. And if we can't, great too. Agree to disagree, but don't try to screw nobody or break your word.
And I'm with you. I've learned the hard way with mixing family and friends. You know, you mix that family with work, and then it doesn't go right. It's never the same.
Yeah, it's never the same. Right. So yeah.
And it's just it's a tough thing. And I do the best I can. That if I do any work with family, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that is right.
Sure.
But
Sure.
the cards aren't always dealt that way.
Yeah, I can go with it. Or I've seen so many scenarios where family gets upset over something, but the at the end of the day, family doesn't know what's going on behind the scenes. You know, financially, personally,
Sure.
everybody's going through something, and you don't know what that person is going through.
Absolutely.
So you do you, let them do them. But yeah, don't burn bridges. That's the biggest thing that I could say to somebody coming up in the business. Every relationship, save the business card, and believe it or not, I take a lot of time, and I actually do it from home, and it drives my family crazy sometimes during Thanksgiving, New Year's, Christmas. If I don't personally handwrite a letter, I text them. Just to let them know we're here, we survived another year, and thanks to you, you were part of it. Even if it was in the smallest thing, you recognize everybody that helped you get through the year.
Absolutely.
So and people remember that stuff. I think it remembers, and the responses that I get, I never erase them. They're all over the spectrum. They're wonderful responses, and I cherish those things because I know, I feel, and I hope that when we're not here any longer, that's something they'll remember you by.
Absolutely.
Paying it forward. Yeah. So that's
great.
what I would give to you. Just build relationships and stick.
Don't burn them.
Don't burn them. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate everything that you've done for us. And remember, don't trash Texas.
Call Nexus.
Call Nexus. Till next time, guys. Thank you.